Nashville Fit Fam, we are back. This time we got game day in the game day studio. We're still live at the Music City Fit Expo. You're not going to talk yet, Chad. We're going to get you in here. I promise we're going to get you in here. But like first, I got to get my girl Savvy Sav. Is it Savvy Sav?
Sure, whatever you want to call it.
Hello. Hey, I gave it to you.
See, you did.
That was, I told Trent to put me in C. That was my C minor to make sure I was on tune.
Actually, it was C major, but it's fine.
This is another one of our micro podcasts. This time we have our title sponsor, Game Day. But we're not going to call you Game Day. We're going to call you Chad, right? I think that would be appropriate.
Game Day Chad.
Game Day Chad. There it is. Let's jump into the people have heard what Game Day is. Or heard the name Game Day. Will you tell us what Game Day is and what will you guys provide services for?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely, brother.
Podcast, so I don't really know what to do with the mic.
Just hold the mic and talk.
So Game Day, we like to simplify really health for men. So men, generally speaking, I know for me personally, like when I'm asked what my primary care physician's name is, I never know.
Yeah.
It's been like 3-4 years, and I'm pretty still in tune with my
right.
So we're not a primary care place, but what's really happening out there is guys, they're struggling. They're struggling one way or another. They're going to gyms, and they got their trainers. They're starting to eat well, and they're just not seeing gains over time. And so what we're doing is we're providing a unique experience where they can come in. Complimentary. Come in, get their testosterone levels checked. We'll test your PSA as well, which is very important, making sure your prostate's healthy.
Prostate's healthy, yep.
So we get those results on site in about 20 or 25 minutes. And like I said, we're not charging for that. And we're also not charging to sit down with our licensed nurse practitioner. So really, you come in for a 9 a.m. appointment, get your blood work done, sit in our lobby, which is a great, man cave type of environment. Basically everything except for beer, in a man cave.
Can I come?
Is it BYOB or no? I'm just playing.
Maybe after the blood work, so you do that, I guess, to continue on with it. By 9:30, you'll have your results. You'll sit down with the clinician, and really by 9:45, you should have a game plan to move forward. And if it is something that is you do have low T, you decide to go on with testosterone replacement therapy, we have testosterone on site. We'll give you your first injection right then and there, show you how to do it, and from there on out, you could administer it at home if you so choose, or with the convenience of our locations, you could just come right in and get your shot without an appointment. So
I don't think I've ever heard of anything like this.
No?
Except like a doctor's office.
Yeah, I want you to talk about for men. Then before we get into all the benefits, why is testosterone in men so important?
Yeah, so it controls, there's a lot of things, right? So we're seeing a lot of guys that are coming in and, their symptoms are brain fog, fatigue, muscle loss. A lot of people are just thinking that, hey, if my libido's fine or I'm not having, issues in the bed, then I'm good, right? And so that's
or that's when they wait to start doing something, right? Like hey, bro, last night it didn't work, so I'm here today.
Truly, yeah.
When you've had symptoms the whole time, but that was just kind of the final symptom.
Correct.
Yeah,
100%. And so, I know for me personally, like I'm an open book. For me, like I was going through this process of starting this up. Former, college athlete, and I've got 2 young kids at home, so I'm like obviously tired all the time.
Right.
Starting this business, not sleeping as well. I'm working out, but I'm not getting gains, and I'm like, well, I'm a washed-up athlete, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of it.
Yeah.
And then I went through, our own process, and I was like, wow, I've actually got really low testosterone scores. So I started on the journey myself, about 11, 12 weeks ago. It's been great for me. And this isn't, a sales pitch. Everyone's going to react differently. But personally speaking, like I know I would not have gone through this process, until someone was actually talking to me about it. So it's been great. I mean, we're having guys come in for their 6-week follow-ups, 3-month follow-ups, and you could just tell a pep in their step. We have some spouses that have called in and are like, my husband's different.
Can you talk a little bit more about, because you said we'll talk about the benefits later, but is later now because I want to know.
Well, I was talking from a like workout standpoint.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
as far
what
as
I
later.
wanna
But
know
go
is,
ahead.
like,
Yeah.
more than just like how to, because I think people associate like, oh, I have low testosterone, therefore like I'm not good in bed right now. I think people associate it with sex, but what are the other things that it can affect? Or I guess a better question would be to ask like your personal experience, like how else did it improve? Like what did you notice it doing to have regular testosterone levels? Like get those things checked and be on the right level with it.
The energy.
Yeah.
Having the energy and recovery. I'd say those two things. And then secondarily, like I'm used to like, okay, I kind of know my range of where I want my weight to be. And I stopped looking at the scale because my number went up because I've got more muscle, right? And we all know that in this fitness and industry, they can't just look at the number and be like this. But my clothes are fitting better. I've got more confidence, and I'm going to the gym now instead of going 3 days a week. I'm going 6 days a week, and on that seventh day, I'm like telling myself not to go. Right?
Right.
I need a day to rest. So that's exciting for me because I haven't felt that way in probably 15 years, to be honest with you. So that just. I don't know, feeling more comfortable in my own skin. But
you probably
I think,
go into your workouts with more energy and therefore getting more out of your workouts, therefore getting like those results of feeling better in your clothes, feeling, just better in general. Like we were talking about hormones with Gracie.
Yeah.
And it's the same with women. If your hormones are out of whack, it's going to affect everything that you do. But energy levels, I think, is a huge thing to talk about when it comes to hormones, because even just a slight dip in that affects everything that you're doing. Like your workouts, your not workout, your like, brain fog, your cognitive, like, your intuition, all of it.
Here's my question. Outside of blood work, and I know that's kind of the primary way we check it, all the other stuff sounds like life. Yeah. Outside of low libido, right? Yeah. I'm tired. I'm not thinking clearly. I have low energy. That's because I have a toddler at home, right? So it's like, so like, even when I go to my primary care doctor, he's like, "Have you been tired a lot lately?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I got a toddler, and a wife and a career, So yeah, of course I'm tired." How do you speak to men who say, when you go off this list of benefits, or maybe they think, I'm just not, like my wife will know, like if I'm not in the mood, something's on. She'll probably send me to you. She's like, "Hey, listen, I offered him something." He was like, "Nah, you go, okay." So something's wrong because he's never turned it down, right? So outside of that, how do we know that? Or what do we look for to say that you may have low T? And because here's another thing, is what is low T? Because that looks different in everybody, right?
Everyone's going to look different.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that you look at, and the reason why we're testing, right, or anywhere that you are testing, is there's numbers and there's symptoms. And so you could come in and, there's a range of numbers. So let's just say a normal range in quotes going to be 200 to 1100.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a huge range,
huge
right?
range. And let me disclaim, I'm not the medical person here. I've been in this long enough, so just kind of hear me out for what it's worth. It's typically around that 400 level, that 400, 500 level that people are being symptomatic. Now, if someone comes in and they're like having these symptoms, I'm tired, I'm all this stuff, and their score is 750, we're not treating them with tests like that. We're not doing that. So what I always say, to people, friends of mine that are coming in, they're like, "I don't know if I've got low T," or they come in through the process and their score's 350, but they have no symptoms. They're like, "I didn't know I had low T. Do I need to get on this?" Like, if you don't have symptoms, don't get on it, right? Like, look at the symptoms, look at all these things. Yeah, it could boost, it could make you feel a little bit better and stuff, but it's something that it's your hormones. So you don't want to just be tinkering with it if you don't need to.
Yeah.
Having guys come in and filling out this intake form, going through and really having a process in the medical management. I think that's the other thing that I've seen is you have people that are coming in, "Hey, I've been getting testosterone online," right? There's some clinics out there, nationally that they'll medically manage you in quotes. And, are you seeing them in person? Are you following up? Are you following up with the same person every time? How are you able to reach them if there's other things? Because then you got to start looking at, are your estrogen levels getting out of whack, And so a lot of stuff where we're able to be proactive about it, you're getting more of a reactive, response. And that's not something you want to mess with hormones. So that's why our clinic, we're out there. So we want to test you. We want to see where you're at, and we want to get you to an optimal level that's working not just from the number standpoint, but you're feeling better and you're feeling like this is great. So yeah,
Well, it's kind of similar.
100%.
Like when you're saying it's not just the numbers, it's kind of similar with training. Like we can keep track of your PR numbers, but like I also very much, probably more so, care about how you feel and like what your symptoms are or are not anymore.
Hey, I'm Carol.
And I'm Lauren.
And we're the owners of All Strength Nashville. All Strength is a private, female-owned and operated fitness studio with a focus on overall strength and longevity of health.
Our approach to training is rooted in current evidence-based research that encourages consistency and sustainability for an overall well-balanced lifestyle.
We're redefining modern fitness by focusing on the science behind long-term health and wellness rather than quick fixes and cookie-cutter programs.
We offer full-body strength training in the form of group classes and one-on-ones, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday.
No matter where you're at on your journey, we can help you find your fitness. You can follow us on Instagram at All Strength Nashville, and while you're there, DM us to book your first class. So if you're ready,
Rediscover yourself
and redefine your fitness at All Strength Nashville.
Is there such thing as too much testosterone? Have you
Yeah.
seen that?
Yeah,
What are the symptoms of that?
Probably.
Shirt.
Hair everywhere.
Yeah, excessive hair, man boobs. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's kind of it when we talk about like optimal ranges. So if we want to get guys, let's just say in general, 800, 900 range, and if they're like jacked up to like 1400, you're like, all right, let's
We got to dial it in a little bit. Yeah.
a little bit,
Wow.
or see if they're abusing it a little bit. But
Sure.
yeah, so that's generally speaking, that's kind of the
Is there
optimal
anything
range.
addictive about it for people who might be worried about
I think
don't know.
the addictive part is, are you feeling really good now? And then you
Sure.
come off of it, and it's not going to drop your levels below where you started.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're started at 500, we get you up to 900, and you're like, you know what, this isn't for me. I just want to, try it without it. You're not going down to 200 because of it. And I think
Gotcha.
that's one of the misconceptions, is that you're going to just like completely plummet and then
Right.
that's it. So you might feel like you did beforehand and
Sure.
not realize how good you were feeling on it. But yeah, it's not something that you're going to be addicted to.
It's not like, because like I'm thinking it's very different. It's not a hormone medication, but ADHD medication. I've been on it and it's very addictive. It can be very addictive to where you're addicted to that feeling of like, because it does help you be more productive. You know, when you have ADHD, you're like kind of all over the place. So when you're able to focus, it's this nice, but it's also kind of a physical feeling in a sense too, where you're a little bit like, okay, there's a come down from it. So then you can't wait to take it again. And I find that dangerous, so I don't take it anymore. And I'm not judging people who take it because it's prescribed by doctors for, reasons that those doctors feel valid. But that's why I ask, because I think some people are afraid to go on medication sometimes. They always ask those questions to their doctor. Is this addictive? Am I going to have a tolerance to this? Am I going to get reliant on this? And I think it's important for people to know that, like, if you're monitored with whatever drug that you're prescribed or using or trying, or if you're doing injections, testosterone, like somewhere like Game Day Men's Health is like a godsend for those people, because like whether or not it is addictive or you're worried about it, you're being monitored. You have help, so you can go to these people, go to Chad, and if you have questions or you're doubtful about it, cool, go to Chad, talk to him about it.
Yeah, I'm curious about I think especially TRT is very much out in the open more now. Like more people are discussing it, more people are talking about it. But even with that, there's still a kind of negative connotation that goes along with it, because it's being misused, or people who don't necessarily need it are taking it, or people like celebrities are taking it before they have a big movie, because it will help with muscle gain and things like that. So I personally don't necessarily put testosterone in like a PED category, but there are people that do. How do we talk about the negative connotation that comes along with that, and the misuse of it? How do you address that part of it, especially in the fitness industry?
Yeah, I mean, the fitness, and it's just what people have to understand is it's not like the steroid, right? It's not this anabolic steroid, and I think that is something that comes along with it.
They kind of put it all in the same category. It's an injection. Like it's like if for whatever my wife walked in and I was like, oh, that's testosterone, she'd be like, bullshit. Like, she was like creatine. Like, I take creatine. She's like, what is this stuff that this white powder that you take every, baby, it's creatine.
Are you snorting your creatine?
Sometimes. This is how, no. Depends on how much pre-workout I've had. No.
Start that
So,
too.
right. It's a whole line, baby. Mix it. Listen, I'm joking. Do not sniff your pre-workout, guys. So how do you address that part of it? Because it's not a steroid, but it is an injection.
Yeah.
There are some negative connotation. It is being misused the same way people do with ADHD medicine. Like they do snort that sometimes. You know what I mean? So how do you address that part? I walk in, Chad, I'm a trainer. That's honestly one of the reasons why I don't want to get checked, because I don't want, maybe I am low or in that range. You're like, bro, we can get you higher, and I'm like, fuck it, turn up. I'm sorry, forget it. Let's do it.
Wow, that was you and not me.
The negative part of it, it's like in my mind, it is almost a cheat code. How do you look at that?
Yeah, I mean, the way that I look at it is, it would be a cheat code if you didn't need it, right? Like even if you came in and you qualified for it, and your ranges were still like medium to higher range, but you still qualified for it, and you're like, yeah, man, I just want to get that extra PR, or I want to do that.
Yeah.
Then, like, I'd say don't get on it. Like, I would, almost recommend to my NP, if I knew that coming in, your buddies and
hey, just tell them, tell them no,
tell them no. So yeah, there's people like that we're seeing, but you gotta look at it as like, if you're working on, your tank is almost empty, right? Like for me, like my tank was almost empty. I mean, that's how low I was on. So I'm not looking at that. I'm just looking to get back up to par, back up to where it should be. So it's just replenishing what, at my age should be there, and then maybe a little bit above that for optimal range, but not going from, 200 to 800 to 1600, right? So that way I'm out there and I'm, looking like you.
You're gonna be a jerk at home. If your wife is, this is what I hear. Yeah. Either your wife is gonna love you or she's gonna hate you. Yeah. Like once you get on it, it's like she's gonna be like, all right. Or she's like, hey, don't touch me again. Yeah, like, hey, listen. I mean, like, hey, I'm done for. Listen, don't. Like,
listen, there's there's absolutely that aspect to it. But I'll tell you what, man. Considering starting this business, where of course you're starting a business, you're just pulling your hair out left and right, whatever it is. Like, I haven't been this energized in a long time, so I'm showing up in a better light. I'm showing up more confident. And the good thing is with a clinic like Game Day is from the medical management. So we got guys that are on it and they say, hey, you know what, I feel like just enraged. Okay, well, let's come back in and we'll get down, and see what it is. And sometimes, maybe it is see something else comes, then you start talking. And it's like,
you start talking a little more about what it's not us. Yeah, it's the other thing that you're injecting with it. Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have a negative connotation of anything out there, but it's like anything else, abusing it, right? Like if you're abusing whatever it is, like. But
the way I see it is testosterone is naturally produced in your body anyways, So like it's going to happen that people have health setbacks that are natural, and there's, I say natural and like there's outside factors that can factor in, but testosterone, estrogen, hormones are things that are naturally produced in our body. So if you're low, it's not like you have low energy. Okay, I'm going to go buy some cocaine. That would be not the healthy way to go, Well, Game Day Men's Health is not about let's put a Band-Aid on it and snort some cocaine for some energy. We want to get down to the root of the issue. Yeah. And that's fitness. It's like, that's always what Gerell and I are trying to do as coaches is I'm not going to put a Band-Aid fix on your problem, because at the end of the day, that's actually going to hurt me too. It's going to hurt my reputation as a coach because I'm putting a Band-Aid fix on this. It'll eventually come back as a bigger problem later. Yeah. Whereas if I look at the root problem, if I look at, okay, let's look at your testosterone levels, your blood work, and let's find the root cause so that we can actually have a lasting solution to this problem. That's what Gerell and I do with, a weight loss client or somebody who's wanting to build muscle. It's like, what's the root cause of why you're not able to do this without me? Now we'll attack that. A lot of the time it's sleep or something like that. It's something naturally that you should be doing that you might not be getting enough of. Yep. So that's how I see it, is like, yeah, you could abuse anything. Like you could sleep too much. Yeah. You can eat too much. You can exercise too much. You can do anything. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Yeah. But I like that you're addressing like naturally occurring hormones in the body, just trying to regulate everything that's already happening, you know?
And I know the answer, but I want you to say it on the mic. What game day is for men only. So everything that you do in there is just for men. Yep. Why did you sector out men only as opposed to treating women, or opposed to having everything? We do Ozempic, we do why is it just men?
So first off, like the whole like semaglutide, tirzepatide, we do that, right? It's almost a commoditized thing, right?
100%. Yeah.
So we do that, but we're not leading with that, because once again, people are getting that from all over the place. When it comes to men only, it kind of goes back to like right now, the options. If you and I were both interested in going, you could go to a place that's more of that med spa environment that's men and women, but we're already not feeling like ourselves. So do we really want to sit in a lobby in a waiting room where there's 8 women in there that might be my wife's friends or whatever it is, that they're going to get their hormones?
As a woman,
checked,
I totally understand that.
So you're already feeling bad, poorly about yourself. Then the other thing is like guys aren't going to doctors, they're not doing stuff. So to say, hey, come to our place. Got this big, mural of his Neyland Stadium. Like it just looks good. Looks whether you like Tennessee or not.
I was about to say that's where you lost me right there. You said Neyland Stadium. I'll never come. No,
a conversation.
I'll never come in there. No.
No, but like something that you just feel comfortable at. I mean, shoot, like I don't have a man cave at home, so I'll just go in the office and watch it. I'm trying to edit this out.
And this person, why doesn't know where to find you?
Yeah, I gotta go work.
I'm at work. The game is coming on,
things that
though.
are women only all the time,
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like it's totally like it's actually important, I think, to have the separation, for men to have stuff that's only men, and for women to have things that are only women, because women are really good at being like women only, no boys allowed.
Yeah.
But guys are like, I guess, we can do it. Like, I think it's important that men have their own place to go, because if it does, at the end of the day, I think you mentioned spouses being happy. Like, hello, like women are happier when men are healthier.
And it's been really fun. So I've spent a lot of time just like sitting in the lobby, getting to know guys. It's like I don't lead with it, but like HIPAA is like non-existent in some of these cases. These guys are coming, man, my score is 240. Like my score,
hey, bro, chill out.
I'm like, all right,
gonna get a suit.
You don't have to. So like I've seen like business cards exchanged. I've seen so it's like I don't know. It's cool. Considering this place like that, like Sisters and Scotch, like you can do that for barbershop, like all these things. But in healthcare, you never think about that, right? Everyone just goes, they're on their phone. But like to actually have people in there that, and they're not always talking healthcare, but those are some funny examples of guys just in there being like, my score is this, my score is that. I'm just sitting there like, all right, well, I'm not saying it, like
so that's on y'all. Y'all are sharing,
y'all are sharing. But no, it's just that's the environment that I want to get.
Love it.
I really want it to be just a warm, welcoming environment. Guys can feel like themselves and not be ashamed, right?
Love it.
Yeah, and ladies, that your man, when he's gone, if he's at game day Men's Health, and you ain't got nothing to worry about.
He's coming home. Just be ready. Just stretch. Go through Sav's mobility program while he's gone.
About where he's at. He's at game day Men's Health.
Yeah.
He's surrounded by men right now.
I don't know. That's a selling point. No. Chad, before we wrap, man, we always like to leave our guests with the last word. So whatever that is, you can talk about game day Men's Health. It could be inspirational quote, just something that you want to leave our listeners with. That's on you, man.
I mean, no, I appreciate him for putting me on the spot for this. I just, ultimately we care about guys and their health, right? And destigmatizing some of the issues that they're going through. If it's something that we can help with, great. If it's something that we need to refer them out to a partner for other things that they're dealing with, we've got plenty of partners in this area as well. So that's what we truly and genuinely care about. It's just men in our community and helping them out one way or another.
I love it.
I love it, man. I think that's it. I think we'll wrap right there, Sav.
Awesome. Let's do it.
You gonna close it out?
Sure. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode with our friend Chad here, Game Day Men's Health, in the Game Day Men's Health studio, and we'll see you guys next time.
Defining a new era in men's health. No shortcuts, just results. Get stronger and healthier by putting your health back in order at Game Day Men's Health. We offer services like testosterone replacement therapy, peptide therapy, ED, medical weight loss, and vitamin therapy, in spaces designed for men. privacy, comfort, flat screen TVs, and zero fluff. Our in-house lab nails down your testosterone levels in 15 minutes. Get in, get treated, and get back to your passion and purpose. Call 615-420-2700 to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Nashville Fit for 10% discount off your first service. Start living your best life. Game Day Men's Health, Green Hills.
Guys, we are here at the Nashville Fit Magazine Podcast live at the Music City Fit Expo. That's a lot of fit, a lot of words in Nashville Fit Magazine, Music City Fit Expo.
Yeah.
People. And we have more words. I am here.
We have more words. I hope so. It's a
Lots more
podcast.
words.
She's like, we have more words for you guys today.
Here are some more words. So the next words are, my name is Sav, and I am here with my friend.
I am the Gerell Webb.
I always let you say the Gerell Webb.
Yeah.
It feels weird if I say
Yes,
it.
because it's individualized. But I just found out me and Alicia are cousins.
We are.
Nuh-uh.
Primo.
She
Really?
what? Don't talk dirty to me. So I know. I'm messing with you. It's a saying. I'm sorry. I don't want to get me too. She was like, "What? No, that's not what." Okay, I know.
It's okay.
So sad. She's Dominican.
Okay.
And I'm Dominican.
Right.
So we're probably
related.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Have you been home?
He said, yeah.
Have you been
since I
home
was a
recently?
kid.
Not since you were a
Not since I was
kid.
a kid.
We have to go back. I'll show you around.
Yeah, please do.
Yes.
Show me my
When's the
neighbors.
last time you were there?
I was there in 2018, 19, one of
Okay.
those. Yeah.
Nice. So right before.
Right before, like a year before, yeah.
Right on.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let's go. It sounded very you don't hear about people going on vacation there a lot.
You don't?
No.
People go there a lot, especially men.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Men go to the Dominican. It's a whole thing called the passport
Guess why.
bros.
I can guess.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let us see.
Yeah. That's how I went.
Segue into what we're about to
Yes.
do.
Anyway, we're gonna jump into. Sheesh, man, you guys was trying to get me. Yeah, this is. Hey, Trent, can we edit this? Can we edit this, Trent? I need to start over. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna start over real quick.
Yeah, this is what the people
We are here. This is what the people want. We are here with Alicia with the Asesina brand.
Yes.
Yes.
Asesina Designs.
Asesina Designs, which
Sexy name for a
means
brand.
It means assassin. It means female assassin.
female assassin
in
in
Spanish.
This is why it's
Spanish.
sexy.
Yes, which is why Sav loves it. So you'll probably see that Sav in that for the rest of our content.
Yep.
Tell us about what your brand is and who it's for, what it does, all the things.
Yeah. So Asesina Designs in Spanish, it is assassin. It is made for the bold, badass female athlete, just the all-around hard-hitting feminine woman. We make denim. We specialize in denim for the athletic figure. So all of the sizes are designed to fit the larger quads, larger booty, but then fit at the waist, doesn't gap at the waist. It's made from a premium stretch denim, all made in Los Angeles. This was something that I wanted when I was growing up as an athlete, and I could never find jeans that fit. So it was always my goal to make jeans that fit the strong woman. And then
What I love about that is it encourages thick thighs and booties. More of that, ladies.
More booties?
Strong is the new
Is that what you're saying? More big booties?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was just curious, Sav.
It's way more impressive. Way more impressive to me. And just like thick thighs and booties, that means you do some work.
They said thick thighs
Even
save
you know-
lives.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a saying. I didn't make it up.
Exactly.
You can Google it. So I'm curious to know why you leaned in with that, especially on women. Was that it could be an insecurity? Because we were talking offline and you were saying you've been built pretty similar, different proportions since you were 5 years old.
Yeah.
Former gymnast. Was that hey, I can't find anything and I like the way my clothes fit, so I know I'm not the only one type situation?
Exactly. Yeah. So I was a gymnast. I started gymnastics when I was 3. And ever since then, you just grow muscles at a really fast rate, apparently, when you're a child. And I remember distinctly always trying to go into the dressing room and find jeans that fit. They were like, oh, you're just in between sizes. That's why nothing fits. But it was very tough for being a 13-year-old girl and you want to go to Abercrombie because everyone's wearing it and it doesn't fit you.
Right.
So it did come partially from insecurities of never finding jeans that fit because of my athletic figure. Back in 2010 through like 2012 era when like Victoria's Secret, like Tumblr was coming apart, like arising, and like gym girls weren't so heavily encouraged. It was hard to find brands that represented kind of who I was and like my identity as a kid. So that's really where it came about, was to have a brand that has denim that fits the athletic body. Because I did ask friends at that age or just other athletes, I'm like, do you also have this problem? And then it would spark a huge conversation.
At what age? What age were you like asking that question? Because like what I'm wondering is, did you start like when you were 5, like doing gymnastics and you couldn't fit in clothes, and like maybe you were like 8 and then 10 and you were just maybe like, were you ever like something's wrong with me because I don't fit into the Abercrombie jeans or whatever, like, and then when did the moment happen, or when did you get to a point where you realized like, wait, I'm not the problem, Abercrombie is the problem, you know, like for not making you know, inclusive clothing, you know?
Right.
When did you kind of start asking that question?
So it did like middle school era, when all the kids want to be cool. That was definitely when I started to be more insecure. I think, oh my god, my body's a problem.
Sure.
I'm so muscular, I look so bulky, I feel so manly, like I don't feel like I could wear like the dresses that the girls are wearing. I can't wear the shorts that the girls are wearing because I don't fit into them. And then more towards when I was growing up, like 15 or even like later in my teenage years, I was like, you know what, like I'm not gonna get a thigh gap anytime soon, or if ever, genetically I don't think I can.
I don't think anyone should.
No. So around that time, I started researching the denim, and I was like, why doesn't it fit me? Is it the stretch? Is it the fabric? Is it the sizing scale that they use? And then I looked into the fashion industry and found what typical sizing scales they use, and I was like, okay, this is why. It's never going to fit me, because their sizing literally is not made for my proportions, which are a lot more drastic than the typical sizing scale.
Where did you find that scale? Like, where is that just like, so literally
a lot
like
of it was just researching what the companies currently use and going into their, like, you know, when you like buy online and it says what size are you, and it brings up the chart and it shows like what proportions it is.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're a lot smaller than what the typical
I've
one.
always struggled with that.
Yeah.
Like, those are so off. They're
very off,
they can't fit all people, and they're just, you know, like, it's just a standard.
Right.
You know?
But I think that's on purpose. I don't think it's supposed to fit all people.
True.
Right?
Not all
like,
brands are meant for all body types.
Yeah.
And that's okay, too.
Because I too cannot wear, this is my camera, Trent. I too cannot wear Abercrombie or Gap.
I don't think I can go in there. It just smells too strong.
Express. Like, none of that stuff fits me because I am an athlete. I am an athlete, right? And so I don't think it's supposed to fit me either.
Yeah.
And so I love the fact that you actually decided to do something about it. Like, you're like, yo, if they're not gonna do it, then I'll start my own, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you're old enough to remember like apple bottom jeans, like which one, right? you remember that? Boots with the fur, yeah. So, but that was kind of the answer in response to like body types, right? Because like, even if you look at the fashion industry model wise, like, models were always really skinny, straight up and down. That was the thing that women were going toward, the thigh gap, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, every woman, the majority of women aren't supposed to have a thigh gap, right? You're never going to have, or you're not going to be at your healthiest with a thigh gap, right? And so the fact that you decided to do something about it is very inspiring. How is that being received right now?
Very positively. I think because it is such like a passionate business, because it's not just jeans, it's the whole brand itself. Asesina meaning assassin, meaning badass woman, just like encompassing the whole woman as a whole, just strong, feminine, dainty, rough, like kind of embodying that.
Oh, stop. We're going to pause. I'm going to pause you. How can you be all of those things? Because those are opposites.
It's called being dynamic.
All of those.
It's called being
not
an
again.
assassin.
Not that the devil needs an advocate.
No, but we can
right?
talk about it.
Yeah, but I'm being the devil's advocate. All right, you're gonna be dainty but strong,
right?
But also rough but feminine.
I think.
Talk to me.
So this is actually something that I just started diving deeper into, and I just made merch for it. We just have a new design called Un Flor de Fuego, which I think is a good metaphor.
Something about fire.
Yes, so a flower made of flames.
Let's
and
go.
If you stare into a fire, it's tough. It's
Did you not
hard.
know what that was, Sav? Oh, you don't speak Spanish. That's right. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Fuego, I just didn't hear the first word, Gerell. Well, now I hear.
Now I know, Gerell.
You were speaking and I was being patient, but I heard fire.
I'm sorry. I didn't-
Restore is your one-stop shop for all of your modern-day wellness and recovery needs. We believe in a multi-solution approach to wellness. That's why we offer different modalities such as IV drip therapy, NAD therapy, cryotherapy, red light therapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and numerous others. Our services help our customers enhance athletic performance, boost mental and physical health, as well as aid in recovery at an affordable price. Whether you are an extreme athlete or just somebody who wants to feel better, we provide wellness services to help you meet your health goals. We make the world's most cutting-edge wellness services available at 225 locations nationwide. Taking charge of your health and wellness has never been simpler or more convenient.
It's your explanation. Yes.
But if you stare, I think you can also relate it very much to nature pieces. If you stare at a fire on the outside, you know it's going to burn you. When you touch it, it's powerful, it's strong. But when you look at the flames, they're dancing, they're delicate, they're elegant. You know, they're graceful in their own way. Or same like the ocean. The ocean is crashing, it's hard, it could like sweep you into the current. But when you stare at it, it's very beautiful, it's very delicate. And I think the same can be said with female athletes or just women in general.
So you're saying women? So you're saying women are dangerous?
Mother Nature.
Oh, yeah. If we want to be.
That's a warning more than anything, guys. No, I love it. There's a quote that I read, and I guess I never thought about it like this. Is that it was like on Instagram or something like that, but it was like women are delicate, but not like a flower, like a bomb.
So
Right?
it could be that way.
I like that.
Yeah, so it was like, so like it's more of like handle with care type situation,
Right.
which is kind of what you're saying. Like, and when you think of like an assassin, you don't know they're gonna, you don't know they're there to kill you. They get close to you first, they pull you in first,
Right.
and then they, not saying that's what women do, but
Oh, they can't.
yeah.
This turns
You guys see what I'm saying? No, all right. I have my nephews over here. I'm trying to tell them. No. But I love the fact that you embrace. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I think that's kind of who Sav is. Just me in general, right? Like in
Where's my
general,
camera,
like
Trent?
when you think, where's my camera? Like when you think of Sav, like as athletic as she is, she also shows up. And I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's good or bad, right? But you're also. You're also feminine as well, right?
Absolutely.
Like you don't try to show up more masculine, even though you're an athlete, right? Like,
Right. 'Cause physically, we could look that way, but I think
I love being a woman, you know.
Yeah.
I love my womanliness, you know, my
Right.
delicacy or whatever. That's not the right word. But
this is the man question for both of you guys. Do you feel like you have to, because of your athletic background, you have to show up more feminine? Because you have that almost intimidation factor, like when you walk in, it's like, oh, she has to do something. She has to be an athlete. Or because you visualize yourself as being more muscular, do you feel like I have to show up at the opposite end of the spectrum of like, I have to really lean into my femininity when I show up into a place? Or is it not?
you can answer. You answer.
When I was a kid, I think I definitely, when I was growing up, like middle school, early teenage years, I think I struggled with that because a lot of the times it was like physically, if you look athletic, muscular, you kind of are put in that box. Like that's who you are. You can't be girly, dainty, feminine if you want to. And I think as I've grown older and I've explored more of my style and the fashion side, especially with the business, it has helped me express my femininity in a different way. I don't feel forced or pressured. Like, oh, I want them to perceive me a certain way. Either way, I'm going to come as I am, and somebody is going to perceive me however they want to perceive me, and that's okay. I think
That's called maturity. I think you have maturity around that. I don't know if you've always been that way, but I haven't always been that way.
It's something to grow, right?
Yeah. You have to just learn that people are going to perceive you the way they perceive you, and like, you'll be misunderstood a lot, especially if you are like a woman and like, or anybody who is fit or strong or knows how to discipline yourself, because there's discipline in fitness. You have to work hard and you have to kind of like F your feelings for a second sometimes. But it doesn't mean F your feelings all the time, never feel them and shut them out immediately. Like, that's where I think people put on a mask a lot. I did a post on my Instagram about this recently where it was like, you look a certain way. I wasn't always put in the athlete box. I haven't always been fit. I haven't always had muscles. I've been overweight. I've been really skinny, you know. So I think I've always been an emotional person and had like softness to me.
Right.
But then when you get fit, people assume that you're just like
as hard as your muscles.
Unfeeling,
Yeah.
and then you kind of take that on because you feel like, I guess
so
I
yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
that way because that's what an athlete is. And it's like, yes, but also
Yes.
you're a human being and you're dynamic. There's layers to you, and actually recognizing more of those layers is what adds to your whole shebang, you know, like your whole persona. Otherwise, you're just kind of flat to me. Like
I
if
think
you're
the same
always
goes
like
for men, too.
I don't feel anything.
how so?
Like it's kind of boring.
Because I think men in the athletic sense, when you grow a lot of muscles, people perceive you guys as like tough guys, hard guys. But men in like the athletic sense are always like in like the gym world, they're always like the nicest people ever, super soft.
Yeah.
People like, oh, he has to be so intimidating and tough. And I'm like, no, actually,
Do you ever feel that pressure?
I
Gerell?
do feel like I can be perceived as intimidating.
Yeah.
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 But I
attest
mean,
to that.
if I'm being honest, I like it a little bit.
There's power in that.
Not really power. Like I just think like there's a standard on how to talk to me. The standard on how to approach
people
me.
approach you
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah. People approach you with respect, right? Like.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's probably the same way for both of you guys. It's like the way you carry yourself or the way you visually appear. Like, I'm not going to come at you on some BS, especially if I know Spanish and you have on an assassin shirt, right? Like I don't know if that means you're like that's figurative or literally. Like, did she really like, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, I want to talk to her, but she may kill me, right? So it's kind of the same thing. Or you have the delicate flower. Is that a flower of flames or right? So it's like all these different things. I think my mom always told me to dress how you want to be addressed.
Yeah.
And so when people see you a certain way, they approach you a certain way and they treat you a certain way. So I think that's how you show up, which is why I say I kind of lean into it. I don't necessarily like reject that as a man. People lead with respect, usually, right?
Yeah.
And I think you guys probably get the same thing.
Absolutely. I like the concept of the brand.
Love it.
It's like being both is, I think, what makes you a cooler person.
But I think from a man's point of view, I think that's how you define women. Women are all of these things. I'm not just dainty. I'm not just rough, right? I can be all of these things, and that's okay, right? Because especially like I think you guys have the most pressure in how you appear, and how you behave, and how you act, how you speak, how you sit. Like people are judging you. Like me and Jen were talking off like earlier, and she went to like a how to be a woman's class. And they like teach you like how to move, walk, sit up. Yeah, you said up straight when you do that. Like all those different things. Like
kind of like white gloves and party manners, like etiquette.
It's like
I'd fail.
like those things, right? And she's like, I don't know if I'm that type of woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you guys are judged on all those different things, and fair, unfair, I don't know.
I was thinking about, I don't know how related this is, but if you go back in like time, like where sculptures of women were being made, like of Greek gods and Mary Magdalene, and like those women were thick, like those like sexy, sexual, like beauty was not perceived as like stick thin, but then later on, it is what's sexy. Everybody thinks skinny and models and Victoria's Secret and 0% body fat is sexy. And then we're kind of moving out of that again. And at the end of the day, sexy is a feeling. I don't think it's a look, but like, Gerell's going to be attracted to a certain body type on a woman, his wife's body type. I'm going to be attracted to something, but I've been attracted to different body types, and I've been attracted to, it's all a feeling, and it's all like like an energy almost that you're putting out there. But like, it's interesting how women have had this evolution of what men perceive as beautiful as far as your body. And men, like, we still look at David, the sculpture of David, and that's just been the standard status quo for men's, like, ideal body. It's been the same. You think?
I don't know. I'm going to ask you. Well, I'll ask you.
I'm open. Let's talk about it.
I'll ask you, too. You got to answer, okay? All right? I'll ask you first, okay? Dad bod or six-pack?
who is the person.
Who's the person?
Who's the person? Because a personality person.
Okay. Initially, what are you attracted to?
Probably because I am an athlete, probably more in an athletic stance. But that's just
Okay.
because that's what I grow up as. I probably would connect with them more because they work out. That's been my mindset towards it. But I've always been more of an emotional connection.
But you don't mind a dad bod?
Person. I think dad bods are cute.
You think?
I think the thing with body types being labeled one way or another is that people like to say their opinions out loud. Like right now. So like if I'm like 6 packs only, then people are like,
oh yeah.
Well, she doesn't feel feelings. She doesn't care.
Right. No, but like everybody's going to be attracted to something else. The problem is that we have like social media broadcasting what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
So then
That's what I'm saying.
like, then men feel like they have to be ripped and all of this, and it's like do what makes you feel happy, comfortable, healthy, and
I love it.
Yeah.
But we're about to wrap up, but we love to leave our guests with the last word. So it can be inspirational, it can be go buy my merch, it can be whatever your
buy my
thing.
jeans.
Yeah, go buy my jeans. You know, these things, these ain't cheap to
her
make.
too.
Right? Whatever your thing is, we want to leave you with the last words.
anything.
Anything.
Nerves.
Yeah, no pressure. You know what I
No
mean? We just want to we like to have you leave our people with something.
Okay. I think I've been in a very luck and vibes, just happy mood recently. So do what makes you happy, love who you want to love, and do something outside today. Go touch some grass.
Go touch some grass.
Down.
Grass, guys, on the floor. All right, the grass on the
Beautiful. Fun.
All right, guys, we are gonna wrap this one up. Thank you guys for tuning in to one of our another micro podcasts with Alicia of
Asesina.
Asesina. I'm sorry,
Alicia.
Asesina.
Asesina.
And I am Gerell Webb. This is.
I'm Sav.
All right, that's Sav. That's it. That's all you're gonna get. And we'll see you guys next time you press play. Thank you.
Hey there, entrepreneurs. Are you ready to fast track your business success? Tune into the Ground Up Podcast, your ultimate business guide brought to you by Roy Mangrum and Terry Bargy. Whether you're just starting out or looking to skip those common business pitfalls, we've got you covered. Our mission is to help everyday entrepreneurs like you achieve stability and success faster than ever. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the Ground Up Podcast today, and let's build your business from the ground up. Available on all major streaming platforms. Don't miss it.